good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your host. Well, you already know who this is, but this is the Angels in Politics broadcast. And remember, always remember, you are the news. Um, of course, I am the white collar goon, the creative and artistic manifestation of Angels in Politics. Somebody says, if you're the creative and artistic manifestation of Angels in Politics, what other expressions of Angels in Politics are there? Brother man, that is the full spectrum. Okay, that is the full spectrum. You're a part of Angels in Politics, whether you know it or not. Okay, the angels are the spiritual market. The politics is what we call the political market, or that's just the physical realm. That's just the secular realm. That's just the tangible realm. That is what you see. That's what you touch. That's what you feel. Well, if it's what you feel, it probably can be internal as well. But that is just the worldly pleasures. That's the decadence. That is, the struggle and the highs and the lows that we embark upon on a daily basis. But the angels are what we live for. The angels are what we dedicate our energy. The angels are where we will transmutate our energy and place and convey and project, our our appreciation, our altruism, our benevolence, our compassion, our creativity, our caring. We can scale that. That's everything that we're scaling. Get into the markets. Not just the stock market, not just the bond market, not just index funds, not just, the commodities market, not just, the natural resources, not just the alternative resources, not just the real estate market. Get in all of those markets. Diversify your portfolio. Hedge, hedge, hedge with the world, hedge against the world. Everything that's happening in the world, you can profit off of this, whether it's for good or bad, but at least your money, at least your finances, at least your wealth is in that, what I call the political cycle. You're in the political circle right now, the political circle, but we're community building, we're world building, we're doing that type of thing. So first and foremost, have you had a meal? Have you had your lunch or dinner? Okay, that's good. I mean, I haven't eaten either. Right now it's only 10:30. I haven't broken my fast as of yet, so, I'm going to continue that. I don't even have coffee right now. I'm going to postpone that. I'm going to have to do some work later on, so I'll be in the coffee shop typing up a few things, getting things sent over to my homegirl because things are in motion, all right? You're going to start seeing a lot of the the dreams are being manifested whilst we speak. So that is a part of political connection. That is a part of political creative. That is a part of political capital. What we're doing right now, this is political council. So I mean, it's all in the political circle. So shout out to that. Shout out to the wheels that are in motion. Shout out to just to you. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to you young ladies. And I'll get into a conversation that I want to talk about. Somebody says, "Yo, Gabe, what do you do? What is your purpose? What is political connections? I heard you did that video yesterday. You did that live stream with your homegirl. In one word, I would just say alignment. In two words, I would say self-actualization. In another word, I might say manifestation, but we'll start off with alignment. We'll start off with that. We'll start off with self-actualization. We'll start off with that. We'll start off with manifestation. Okay, we'll start off with that. Aligning yourself to your purpose, your mind, body, and soul is really something that I've always harped upon. But what does that mean? That means to be self-actualized. What does that mean? To figure out who the fuck you are. That's what that means. Embracing your individuality, the process of individualism, the individual, who you are, knowing thyself is a lifelong process. It's not like something that you're like, oh, I figured it out yesterday and I'm good for the rest of my life. Like, yeah, for sure. You know who you are because only you are you. But at the same time, it's like it's going to be a continual process. It's going to be continual growth. And I feel like once you have your life's work, and your life's work is going to be your purpose, and that's your meaningful work, and everybody knows that life is what about meaningful work, but life is strictly about that meaningful work revolved around meaningful relationships. So life is about relationships, establishing relationships, cultivating relationships, sustaining relationships. Well, the first relationship you need to sustain and cultivate is here. All right, you can't be a better lover, you can't be a better brother, you can't be a better sister, you can't be a better mother, sister, daughter, whatever the case may be, unless it starts here. It starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with you. Okay? And you have to be accountable to who? All right, the higher power. So you have to figure out what is your purpose, because your purpose comes from the divine. And you have divine energy, you have divine powers, you have divine gifts, spiritual gifts. Manifest those. Somebody says, what does that mean? Speak it into existence! You have to continue cultivating yourself, reading things, new material, constructive material. Some might say, Gabe, you're more right brain and I'm a bit more left brain. Or somebody might say I'm a bit more left brain. I'm not too keen on the right brain stuff. I'm talking about the synthesis. I'm talking about synthesis, bringing that together. Maybe you are reading about, economics and capitalism. Maybe you are reading about quantum mechanics and quantum physics and the theory of relativity. Maybe you are reading about physics. Maybe you are reading about marketing, public relations. Maybe you are reading about self-development. Maybe you are reading about various energies. But you should also read fiction. You should also read comic books. Also read manga. Also read just those romance novels, love stories. Read things that stimulate both sides of the brain, because as you bring that together, as you synthesize, as you have that infusion or that fusion of both ends of the spectrum, that's how you spark the creativity. That's how you spark the growth. That's how you get into your lane. That's how you get into self-actualization. And you are, rising from that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So what's the topic today? The topic is your archetype. All right. Male archetypes, female archetypes, and I'm going to talk about sexual politics, because everybody knows, every time I look at your work, you're always talking about sexual politics. It's always your relationships. Why is it always about girls? Why is it always about you being the femininity cheerleader? What is the femininity cheerleader? What is the divine feminine, and why are you the champion of the divine feminine? Why are you championing? Why are you promoting? Why are you a major proponent of cultivating the confidence and self-esteem of the individuals who have the divine feminine within them? Well, all of us have the divine feminine, but women channel that divine feminine to a new level. All right, we have the divine masculine along with the divine feminine, but the divine masculine is what drives us guys to be the archetypal superhero in our pyramid. But the women's divine femininity, they also have the divine masculine as well. But their divine femininity when they channel that and they synthesize that, that's how they achieve and they become that archetypal superhero. So I speak about archetypes because, there are guys who feel like, yo, damn, like I would pull up on homegirl, or I would say something to homegirl, or I would be a bit more comfortable with myself speaking to this type of girl, but deep down I know she's out of my league. I've heard that often. Like guys saying things like, she wouldn't like me, she doesn't date guys like me, she normally dates people like this, that, and the third, or I've only seen her with this kind of guy, she wouldn't really fuck with a guy like me. And it's like, well, one, you're manifesting that reality because you're speaking it, you're articulating that, and maybe you've read it, or maybe you've written that down, and now it's becoming a part of your system of synchronicity, system of synthesis. Now that's a part of your system of sequence. So once you've said that, brother, like you might actually start to believe it. Don't do that, okay? For one, there is no league. But two, let's delve deeper into it. Homie, yes, there are, all of us have what we call a quote unquote type that we are attracted to. There is some bullshit ass, I want to call it bullshit ass. I mean, I haven't looked at it, but it's on Netflix, and Netflix has something called like Sex Explained or something like that, and it talks about how we cognitively have these preconceived, I don't know if they're notions or preconceived attributes or inclinations that make us, on a subconscious level, on an unconscious level, attracted to certain individuals. Like when you see that a guy likes this girl, whether you know it or not, women from all over, women who may not even be showing you attention, women who may not even be looking direction, they pick up on who you have talked to. Women have picked up on who you have approached. Women have picked up on who you are bashful around, who you are coy around, who you are charming around, because some of you guys think it's a light switch that you can just turn on your flirtatiousness, you can turn on your charm, you can turn on your pleasant and welcoming demeanor. You can just turn that on like it's just doop, doop, there it is. Be that be that the case, or whether that's the case or not, like, it's the truth. Moreover, women have taken note. Moreover, women have duly noted, okay, he likes that girl, and since we see how he acts around that girl, we can also align and see through pattern recognition that girls who have a certain archetype that is similar to this will be who he likes, right? So it's really funny because women have the same thing. Women might be, you might have seen a woman, or you might have talked to a woman, if you have spoken to a woman, and she may have been comfortable enough with you to say, I prefer tall guys, I prefer European guys or white guys. Well, white guys and European could be two different things, but I prefer Spanish guys. I prefer tall guys. I prefer bigger guys, guys with the belly. I prefer burly, what is the term? More of a husky and a bit more gritty kind of guy. I prefer guys with big hands and broad shoulders. And some women might say, I prefer guys who are smaller and petite and have soft hands and have, a thin frame, that whatever the case may be. Some women may say, I prefer aggressive, assertive, dominant guys. Some women may say, I actually prefer guys who are a bit on the quieter side. I prefer the introverted guys. I prefer shy guys. I prefer quiet guys. There are archetypes, and there's a spectrum of personality that we all have, and I talk about spectrums often, but we have this spectrum of personality that fluctuates, through our daily interactions, through the way we interface through political engagement. When I say political engagement, I just mean people to people. Okay, I just mean people to people. You might see somebody who acts a certain way, who has a certain persona in the workplace, but they might have a different persona with their family, and they may have a different persona with their friends, and they may have a different persona with you. So it's that personification. It's that how does this person express themselves in various modes, and then I can come together and see whether this is my type. I've mentioned this before. You don't really know a person until you know what makes them tick, or you don't know what makes them talk, meaning you don't really know a person until you've seen them upset. It's all good whenever things are happy. It's all good whenever you're having coffee. It's all good whenever, you're having sex and all that type of things. I still don't know what sex is, but like, it's all good when that happens. But what happens whenever that person might lose their job? What happens when that person, gets that phone call that they don't want to receive? What happens when that person stubs their toe? What happens whenever they find out that you, homegirl, has had a past that they weren't ready to reconcile with? They weren't ready to, come to face with. They weren't ready to, you told them about it, but they didn't want to believe it until they found out from another person, and now they're upset. Now, now you're ready to, like, damn, brother, I didn't know you were like that. I didn't know you felt that way. So that is all a part of a personality archetype. But I want to go back into it. Women may say, let me put this on. Women may say, I like guys like Leonardo DiCaprio. I like guys like Channing Tatum, meaning they're archetypal male. They're quintessential hero. They're archetypal, quintessential dream guy might be somebody like Denzel Washington, some young George Clooney kind of guy, some young Brad Pitt Fight Club kind of guy, right? They might say that. They might say that. They might have that on their screensaver in their tablet, on their laptop. They might have that, on their phone. They might have pictures of these people in their lockers. I don't know if kids still do that. I don't know if people still have posters in their room. They might have posters of the boy band of the young Justin Timberlake in their room, right? That might be their quintessential archetypal, if all things were to go my way, if all stars were aligned, if the moon and the sun and the stars and the whole world revolved around me, which it does, that would be what they would want. That would be what they desire. But at the end of the day, in the middle of the day, in the beginning of the day, look at who those women date. Look at who those women interface with. Look at who those women end up settling with. All right. And I won't use the word, well, I would use the word settling, because at the end of the day, they make their own selection. So they select. I hope it's not a settle. I would pray it's not a settle. But there's some women out there that says, yeah, I kind of did settle. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that they will say that, because that's the truth. Some women will be like, if I would have known my value, if I would have known how industrious, how competent, how intelligent I was, if I would have known how intuitive I was, if I would have known that I could have double down, triple down, times 10 down on my strengths, and taken massive action, and had faith in myself, and been a bit more confident, and had political connections. Not a connection with a fucking senator or governor. Political connections means it's not about what I know or who I know. No, it's both. It's, if I would have been working on myself and going out of my comfort zone and meeting new people, I probably would have embarked upon a different journey in life, right? So I say all that to say, she can like, or she can say she wants a young Channing Tatum, but 10 times out of 10, the guys who are approaching her and the guys that she's going to be dating aren't going to be Channing Tatum, aren't going to be Leonardo DiCaprio, okay? They're not going to be young Denzel. They're not going to be young Shamar Moore. I mean, those guys are cool. Those guys are top notch. Those guys are symbols. Those guys are sex symbols. Women respect all of those guys. Shout out to those guys. You can be that too, but I'm saying you don't have to be, guys. Fellas, I'm saying you don't have to be young, whatever, 8-pack guy with the square jaw, on the movie screen, who looks like, young Rob Lowe in 1985. Like, you don't need to be American Gigolo to have a beautiful, stunning wife, beautiful, stunning woman to provide your masculine energy towards, to project your divine masculine energy. You don't need that, brother. It helps. It helps. Let me say that again. I know you guys are smart. I know you guys are competent. I know you guys are intelligent, intuitive. I know you guys are industrious. But listen, that industrious is something that I left last, because if you're so smart, if you're so intelligent, if you're so intuitive, if you're so clever, brothers, you need to synthesize, synchronize, and build something with that. Take all of those traits that you have, those innate traits, your spiritual gifts, brother. Take your intelligence, take your competence, and build something, because once you align yourself with your purpose, brother, man, if you wanted that beautiful woman, if you wanted that stunning woman, if you wanted that archetypal woman, not only is she there, she's going to be pulling up on you when she sees what is coming your way. And what I say is coming your way is not saying, oh, money's falling from the sky. I'm not saying, you're just the Rain Man out here making it rain with money. No, I'm saying, like, she's going to see that you're aligned to a bigger purpose, and that alignment is something that is of God. That alignment is something that you're doing for the community. That alignment is something that you're doing to express your gifts in a radical way, in a transparent way, and that's how the women are attracted to you. That's how the woman says, "Oh, yes, he's the person. He's the person I can align myself with and start a family with," because life is about relationships. Life is about relationships. Life is about cultivating, sustaining, and establishing meaningful relationships along with your meaningful work. Well, women already can tell you whenever they get a certain age, I know what I want my work to be. I know what I want my meaningful relationships to be. And 9 times out of 10, there's a lot of women who do find gratification out of their jobs. There are so many women who find gratification out of their work. There are so many women who find gratification going to their 9 to 5. But most women who have those jobs will tell you that it does not supersede their love for their family that they have built. Most of those women will tell you, yeah, I work a good job. Yeah, I make 6 figures. Yeah, I make whatever figures. But that's not more important than the relationship I have with my husband and my son. That doesn't supersede what I have with my daughters, with my granddaughters, with my grandsons, with my sons, with my daughters, with my husband, with my mother, with my sisters, with my sorority sisters, with my book club sisterhood, with my friends that I've grown up with. Thank you, 9 to 5 job, for paying me. But you know what? Since I've aligned myself with this guy who has his self attached to his purpose, and he wakes up and he's diligent and he's hardworking and he's intuitive and he's industrious, I can choose not to work, motherfucker. I can choose when I don't want to work because I have aligned myself with the divine masculine, brother. So listen, brother, I know you might feel like she doesn't want your archetype because you aren't, the young Trey Songz walking around. I know you might feel like you're not the star quarterback. You're not the star wide receiver. You're not the star shooting guard who dropped 40 points, whose name is on the billboard, whose face is on the billboard. Listen, you don't need to be those guys because 10 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, I met those motherfuckers and they're not that cool. They don't really have high self-esteem, honestly. Most of those guys are fucking corny. Let me tell you that. Not I've met, the superstars I just mentioned. I'm just talking about the archetype that you might think that she is praising. You think she just likes the muscle head guy? Trust me, dude, she doesn't. Oh, she likes the way he looks. Oh, definitely, guys. It helps for you to be in shape. It helps for you to have a flat stomach. Matter of fact, if you want to take yourself up a notch, yes, brother, implement some workouts. Implement some workouts in your everyday system of synthesis, your system of synchronicity. Trust me, brother, that does help. It helps for you to be well read. It helps for you to be well spoken. It helps for you to have a plan. For fuck's sake, it helps for you to have your own business. It helps for you to have money. For fuck's sure, it does. Not only does it help, that changes the game, brother. Those are the secrets. You want to know what the secrets were? That is it. Those are they. Those are they, brother. You wanted that archetypal woman? Get on your shit. Get on it. Get on it. Align yourself with your purpose. Manifest your purpose. Manifest your dreams. Write them down. Write down your dreams, literally. When you wake up in the morning, write them down. Manifest what you want. Have your whatever vision board if you need that. Read constructive material. Write it down and speak it. Repeat it. Speak it. And brother, man, it won't happen tonight. It won't happen tomorrow. It won't happen next week. But before you look up, there she is. Boom.